Ytong block appears to be white, with varied sizes, special tongue and groove. Ytong block is uniform sealed hole spreading inside, which makes it own extraordinary properties. Excellent products need excellent application technology to coordinate with. Through years of research, Ytong could provide high-quality AAC with outstanding construction solutions, which can ensure high-performance wall construction. After being delivered to the job site, the block stack is supposed to meet some requirements. It is as far as possible to be stacked indoor in the solid, leveling and dry site. Blocks should be classified by sizes and grades. The bottom should be raised away from the floor. Be careful of the water so that the blocks won't be damped. The block stacking height is not supposed to be over 2 meters. Hand borrowed can be used for horizontal transportation. The moving of Ytong blocks must be with care and piece by piece. Passenger and freight elevator can be used for vertical transportation. After being transported to the construction stories, blocks should be located as near as possible to where they will be used on level ground. Secondary handling should be avoided. Such tools including trowel, rubber hammer, spirit level, panel saw, cutting machine, tape measure, angle steel ruler, steel grinding plate, and sanding float should be prepared before the masonry. After locating the position, then start bricklaying. Ytong block has excellent thermal insulation property, which can meet the building energy efficiency requirement for single wall. Additional thermal insulation is unnecessary. Before building external wall, leave spaces for thermal insulation of concrete units. The large formats of Ytong blocks and their dimensional accuracy ensure quick construction with Ytong thin bed adhesive. In order to ensure the property of adhesive, the adhesive should be best mixed by electric mixer tool. Proportion of water and adhesive powder should follow the instructions printed on the packing bags. Exterior wall's thickness is determined by building design requirement. Slabs should be wetted and smoothed by cement mortar before the laying of the first layer's blocks. The thin bed adhesive is applied to the bottom of the first layer's blocks for connecting with the floor tightly. It is essential that the first course should be laid correctly and level, so that the speed and accuracy can be achieved with the thin bed adhesive in subsequent courses. The vertical and horizontal joint thickness of adhesive layers should be controlled within 2 to 3 millimeters. The subsequent courses should be done after the solidification of the first course, which is also the key to ensure wall strength and smooth. If the block surface were uneven, leveling plate and sanding float can be used to grind off the unevenness. Then all the blocks should be brushed clean of dirt and loose particles. If correction of blocks were needed, adhesive should be applied again and blocks should be laid again. Any moving and hit are not permitted. Builder's level and rubber mallet will do as aid for the leveling. The cutting machines is used for blocks cutting. The joints between AAC wall and concrete can be done by L-type connector or joint steel bars. And joint steel bars can be replaced by L-type connectors because of fast installation, high joint strength and better deformation resistance. L-type connectors can be connected with concrete by shooting nails, and the other side can be connected with AAC blocks by 50mm iron nails, which can combine the wall and concrete pillar as one part. L-type connectors should be used every 2 layers of blocks. The vertical joint of lower course should be staggered at 1/3 length of blocks relative to the vertical joint of the overlaying course. End blocks overlap to be minimum 100mm. Concrete blocks should be buried along both sides of the opening for door and windows in top, middle, bottom positions. to fix door and window frame. Ytong lintels are used on the top of the opening to ensure the integrity of the wall and avoid heat and cold bridge. If reinforced concrete lintel were used, the lintel should recess 5 to 10 millimeters compared with AAC walls so that the spaces for render or thermal insulation can be left. The bed adhesive should be applied on lintels. Temporary discontinuities should be stacked to be a slope. The slope's horizontal projection length is not less than 2/3 of the height. Before the construction, initially, clear the dust and chores, then print the adhesives so as to ensure the connection stability. Layer the blocks and collect the adhesives simultaneously can ensure the wall's cleanness. The collected adhesives can save the materials effectively. 2 to 3 millimeter thickness mortar joint is the basic requirement for thin layer building method, which not only save the materials but also reduce the mortar's joint shrinkage, which also greatly improves the wall's integrity and avoid the mortar joint's effects on wall impermeability, improves wall's crack resistance property as well. When blocks building completed, the wall and the structure may be out of shape, leaving a 10 to 20 millimeter gap on the top of the wall. 2 weeks later, fill the gap with PE stick and foaming agent, which can avoid wall cracks caused by structural deformation. Meanwhile, the wall's flatness and verticality need to be checked. Damaged parts can be grouted by Ytong repair materials. Some uneven places can be smoothed by steel grinding plate and sanding float, making the deviation acceptable. Concrete columns should be added if the wall's length is over 6 meters. Thermal insulation block construction on the surface of concrete can be operated after the wall building. Ytong blocks should be pasted by Ytong adhesive with a thickness about 2 to 3 millimeters. Beside the pasting, for the area below 24 meters, bracket measures should be fitted on every 2 layers. For the area over 24 meters, besides the bracket on each floor, some mechanical measures as anchors should be taken. At least 2 anchors per square meter, and we recommend more anchors be fixed in the area of corners. Painting, ceramic tiles and other materials can be selected for Ytong facade. If painting system were selected, use Ytong interface agent to do the interface solution. Then apply the putty and brush the paints on the exterior wall. The joints of different materials should be reinforced with alkali-resistant fiberglass mesh. If ceramic tile systems were chosen, use Ytong interface agent to do the interface solution, and then use adhesive to paste the tiles. For interior walls, in the area of family separating walls, 200 millimeter thickness block is advised. For partition walls, 100 millimeter block is advised. For elevator rooms, stairwells and other areas, 150 millimeter thickness or above is advised. Even 100 millimeter thickness block is able to meet 4 hours limit of fire resistance. 200 millimeter thickness block could meet the sound insulation requirement of 52 decibels. These selections could meet building's requirement for sound insulation and fire resistance. The building of interior walls, solution for opening and the filling of gap between walls and pillars, wall construction column and lintels are all the same with exterior walls. No slotting before the wall is strong enough. Ytong hand router or hand cutter will serve the role. Roof size and area must follow the technical specifications for safety. Initially, mark the working area and then work with hand router or hand cutter. After installation of pipelines, fill the groove with cement mortar and keep the height 2 mm lower than the pilaster. Use flattening the wall with Ytong repair agent, making sure the same materials applied on the wall surface in order to reduce cracks. 200 mm width alkali-resistant fiberglass mesh or steel mesh should be reinforced before the interface solution. Paints, tiles, and other materials can be used for wall solutions. If paints were chosen, apply 2 to 3 mm thickness Ytong thin band plaster on the wall. Reinforce the joints of different materials or slotting area with alkali-resistant fiberglass mesh. After the drying of the band plaster, then paste with 1 to 2 mm finished plaster. Then you're allowed to work with paintings on the wall. If tiles were chosen for wall facade, brush a piece of Ytong interface agent initially. Then use adhesive or cement mortar to paste ceramic tiles. Plastics or nylon expansion tubes can be used as a pegs on the walls. The fixation of plastics or nylon expansion tubes should follow the relative construction requirement. Construction. Finished solution. Hanging nails of Ytong walls should follow Ytong block building structure maps. Ytong block engineering construction and acceptance test procedure. AAC block and panel construction structure. AAC block and panel architecture structure.